I am recording.
I've been recording since the day I burst out of the womb and I said, hey mama, why don't you give me a smooth shake and some fries with that ass? Welcome to Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling.
I thought you were going to be like, oh, when I asked her for, I don't know, a Rode Procaster, I thought you were going to put in any microphone. Hey mom, let's get this on the tape.
Wait, I was gonna put. I don't think I understand, but I want to support the bit.
You said I have been recording since I came out of my mother's womb.
James, I'm not gonna lie, I did not remember how that sentence started.
Hey, I've been there as well. Sean,
oh my gosh,
you called me Jameson before we started recording.
I did call you Jameson before because you were so frequently calling me Jonathan.
Guess what my name was going to be if my mother had her way? Margie shouts out.
Shouts out to Margie. I'm gonna say Jim Beam.
Oh no, that'd be so much better than what she was going to call me.
Svedka.
No.
Zima.
It's a traditional Irish name that I think only two famous people of my knowledge have. One is a rock star and one was in 2.5 Men.
Kid Rock.
No.
I'm sorry, the Irish pronunciation. Kid Rock.
Nope. It was going to be Angus.
Angus?
Yeah, would you have hung out with me if my name was Angus? Pete says, hey man, we're going over to Nicole and Angus's.
I would probably be more likely to hang out with an Angus.
Okay.
No offense, but I'm glad I got to hang. You know, we don't fuck that shit. I hang out with you regardless of your name. If a Rose by any other name, you'd still try and fuck it. Shakespeare.
A Rose by any James.
I like what you did there, James, host of this podcast, in addition to Sean, host of this podcast being motherfucking Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. Welcome in, where me and James go through Lucha Underground. We're currently in season 1. James, a bit of a nubile wrestling head. Me, a bitter old coot who stayed up way too late last night getting into wrestling arguments on Twitter, for as long as we still have Twitter.
Yeah, you're being nostalgic, but hey, soon you'll be doing that on Mastodon.
I hope. Or, because I feel like if I'm going to get on wrestling arguments on Discord, it's too personal.
Oh, yeah, you don't want that.
No, I don't want that. They can find me. I have my home address on Discord.
Whoa.
It wasn't a good idea. I can't get rid of it.
Today, Nicole did say, where does Sean live? And I said, truly have no clue.
And you never will. I live in the shadows and in the minds of the millions.
But yesterday... This was a conversation today Nicole and I had, but yesterday you came up in conversation with us.
I said it last week, and I'll say it every week. It does. It scares me to no end to hear I came up in conversation.
Okay.
For I've seen your mind and the dark, twisted, haunted house of which it is.
This is flattering, I think.
Okay. You say that a lot.
You, as I've mentioned before, as other people have mentioned, I know... have the appearance of Kyle Mooney.
Who is not bad looking gentleman.
Very handsome. One of his shows is Smash, the Saturday morning action something Saturday block. You know that show on Netflix.
A show I have seen commercials for and have not sat down to watch.
It's very good. You should check it out. But one of the characters he plays is like this, zuzzy, like this 90s dude.
Okay.
Which now
I like
that
you said zuzzy za, like those are real words that I would understand what you meant by.
Okay, well, Zuzzy Za, if you watch the show, he says that's his catchphrase.
Damn it.
So.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. To all our Zuzzy Za fans out there, I'm so sorry.
I am now watching an insane amount of Step by Step.
That was a go-to, just so real quick, that was a very go-to show for us growing up.
Watching this, same for me, the Zuzzy Za character is clearly in motions, is just ripped from the codester, the code man, Cody Lambert.
Great character. As far as Zuzzy, you know what? Now that I understand Zuzzy Za, I think we can prescribe Zuzzy Za to a character archetype, right? Mm-hmm. Like Kramer is the Zuzzy Za of Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I think arguably one of the better Zuzzy Zas, at least in recent memory, it was still like 15 years ago, Spencer from iCarly.
Oh, yeah. Or no.
Great Zuzzy Za.
Yeah, I guess. I wouldn't say Kramer is. Kramer's more stressed out. Like Zuzzy Za is someone who goes with the flow.
I wouldn't say it's weird. Kramer is an odd character, and we'll talk about wrestling someday. Because I wouldn't call him stressed out. I would call him erratic, but oddly, there is a calmness to him. He doesn't like not a lot of things really affect Kramer. He kind of just does whatever he wants.
Yeah.
And usually gets away with it as long as it's not in the Laugh Factory.
He's still a little stressed out. But Sean...
Okay. Respectfully disagree.
You're also zuzzy zazz. Because of the Kyle Mooney, it goes you, Kyle Mooney, Cody, and loops back around. So I'm like, my friend's up on stage, man. That sound stage is being rocked by my good friend Sean Marciniak. You look nothing like Cody. You act nothing like him. But because of that little step by step, day by day, Sean...
Let's start over a different kind of way.
I watched, I think, 14 or 15 episodes yesterday because Nicole said, when we get high on every Friday, we watch a few movies. But Nicole said, I was like, what do you want to watch? And she goes, to be honest, today, all I want to do is sit on the couch playing the Switch while you watch Step by Step. And I had a religious experience while watching this show. It's so fucking good. It is well written when it is well written. And then other times it's basic sitcoms, but it is dripping with horniness, Sean.
Yeah, there's like a lot of like Cody, the cousin who lives in a van in the driveway. If you have not seen the show and are wondering what this character is about, he is, I believe, 18. I think he's an adult.
He's 20.
Oh, that's not good either. Oh, no. Because the other thing I remember about Cody is that his major, not just his love interest, his predominant character want.
Yeah.
The thing this character wants out of this world more than anything else is to pork his new cousin.
Yeah.
Who is underage. They all go to high school.
Which I have seen contemporary reviews of people saying it's creepy because he's their cousin. And it's like, no, he's older than her. But
it's creepy on multiple levels. The fact that he lives in a van in their driveway and is so close, way too close. There are so many terrible... This man is covered in flags like he was a downhill ski slope. James, I need you.
But I'll say this. It's not nefarious. She's also dating college. He might be the youngest person trying to pursue her.
Oh, God.
Yes,
yeah.
It is very complicated. But
oh, no.
Cody, did you know this? As revealed in season 2, episode 13, Cody just says yeah, man, I'm a virgin. I'm pure. I fucking lost it.
Yo, I am Cody. That's true.
And, because you're a virgin and you're pure.
Hell yeah, baby. Pure. Yo, purity rings till the day I die. I'm the 5th Jonas brother.
You may be a virgin, but you are far from pure, sir.
What? How dare you? I'll slit your throat and dick it down.
Okay, exactly. That's why you're not pure.
What? Huh?
But we were watching this episode... And I'm stoned. I'm having a religious experience, truly seeing hallucinating things, closing my eyes, listening to the theme song. But there's an episode that it starts out with Frank saying, hey, you know that conference we went to? And Carol's like, yeah, how could I forget that boring piece of shit? And he says, well, good thing we went there because we won the raffle. All expense paid trip to Hawaii. And they're like, yeah. And I turn to Nicole, very stoned, and I go, Nicole, I hope it's a shot on location episode. And then it shows an airplane lifting up and then them in Hawaii. I'm like, Nicole,
let's
it's
fucking
shot
go
on location. And she's like, why does that matter? And I go, the film stock is better. And then I point at the screen. I'm like, see. And she's like, oh, yes, you are actually being honest right now.
That's true. I remember the big on location shots was Full House for the Disney episodes when they were at Disneyland or World, whichever one it was. Those were because I don't remember the Hawaii Step by Step. I remember a lot of Step by, I even remember Cody being a virgin and then that being my first take on ABC sitcoms do kind of hit different. Mm-hmm. At some point, someone's going to be talking, Boy Meets World kind of did the same thing where at some point, they're going to tell you, hey, we're virgins, and that's pretty cool.
I think this was a mandate by the studio, by ABC, probably because they're like, all right, out of this family of 9 people, including Cody, you have 2 characters who aren't constantly trying to fuck, and that is the youngest daughter and the youngest son. But the second youngest son, who's a nerd ass, is also so fucking horny. They're constantly trying to fuck every single character. So yeah, make Cody a virgin.
I like to think that part, the horniness, was a mandate from Patrick Duffy and Suzanne Summers, who are very hot.
Nicole asked, she goes, why are the parents so hot? And I go, do you mean like horny? And she says, no, like, why are both of them so attractive? And I go, Nicole, I was probably also stoned. I go, Nicole, I actually know the reason for this. She's like, how do you know this? Why is this a question you can answer? And it's because...
Wait, why is there a reason?
The creators who worked on Dynasty, they wanted to create this family show with a split family, but they were like, who are like the hottest in both marketability and attractiveness? Like, who's hot on the scene and who's hot in the jeans we can get, so the parents have something to watch. Well, the children also have something when the children are just on screen. So they found the 2 hottest people, Patrick Duffy, Suzanne Summers.
Hell yeah. It's literally, if you've never seen Step by Step, it's literally horny Brady Bunch. I think that's the best description for Step by Step, is horny Brady Bunch.
And there's wintertime episodes, and it's so cozy, Sean. I truly had one of the greatest days I've had this year.
Fucking A, man. Shouts out to Step by Step, Patrick Duffy. You can still, Patrick, get it. You know when you start a sentence, you think it's going to end in a pun, and then you just have to plow forward to what you did this week, which is I did this week, which is I rewatched All In 2018, or at least I started it. That is the sort of before AEW was a thing. This was the proof of concept, right? There's like, hey, we're just gonna do a big old pay-per-view and show that a company that's not WWE can sell out an arena. And the first match is our boy, our friend Matt Cross, aka Backyard Wrestling Zone M-Dog20, aka the son of the Havoc. And I was just very excited because you know how, like, we've seen I feel like a lot of people have this move in Lucha Underground where it's like a handspring and then they kind of like flip over the ropes to the outside. And I'm calling it a bunch of different things and I'm just adding words. If you sweet listeners at home may not have noticed, I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about.
Yes, he does.
I thought I did until Matt Cross, who's in this match, hits that move. And Ian Riccaboni, the voice of Ring of Honor, as well as Excalibur, the voice of Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, like simultaneously, like an old married couple, just kind of look at each other and go, Sasuke special, in reference to the great Sasuke. It was very cute, and it made me very happy because it means when I see that move from now on, I only need to use 2 words instead of more.
And a lot of going,
that's all, folks. I am the Porky Pig of wrestling podcasts. Let it be known.
Wait, you're in with Marin's Cats because you said podcats.
I sure did. James, tell me about who are you? Boomer lives. James, who are your guys? And by guys, I'm sorry, you had one more bit before I transition.
I do. Do you want the good news or the bad news?
Oh, God, both at the same time.
I can't.
I believe in you. Try.
Okay, well, Sean, we reached 1,000 total plays for this podcast feed.
Let's fucking go, you dumb bitches. You know you love us. Even if, the least listened to podcast on the Marshland Media Empire no longer.
Well, no, I'm glad you brought that up.
Wait, why?
So I used to do a show with Corwin called This Movie's Gay. We haven't put out an episode since July 21st, 2021. I believe that's when it was.
And you never will again.
Well, I hope we do someday, but Sean...
No, me too.
That show that hasn't put out a new episode still gets more plays than this weekly podcast.
Let's fucking go! The least listened to podcast of the Marshland Media Empire. You see this crown, little Corey? Hey, Nicole, you observe the title I wear upon my head? You will never touch this. I have claimed my stake in the disappointment of James. James, do you have a friend that disappoints you quite like me?
Do I have a friend that disappoints? If that's how you're trying to segue into the Unearth the Underground, it's someone who doesn't disappoint me.
No, I forgot about this segue. I just got real proud of myself because I had to stop from crying. I forgot what my segue was. But James, you know, what I do love listening to, other than this podcast, is some sweet, sweet music I may have never heard before. You got any recs for us?
Well, I sure do, because today on Unearth the Underground, we are discussing an album, an EP, if you will, that came out 2014, I believe in April. And Sean, did you listen to today's subject?
I didn't this week. I'm so sorry.
Damn it. Okay, well, that sucks, because then I could have gone off from you a little bit. But today we are discussing MC Deep's Low Res tape. And happy birthday to him. He turned 30 this year.
Happy birthday, Low Res.
Trying to kill my writer's block and some shit. Let's do it. Struggling, to put the paper to the pen, and I'm at it again. He's at it again, the long ride, find huge and rats. Cap or I could dive bar, front to back. Jack, something simple with the soul flow, bougie women. I can get it, all I need is just to keep my rhythm. Written, driven, come quick, spitting a lo-fi. Dope people just wanna cut to the deep guy. I'm a creep, I can't tell a lie fly. From the track, step back, welcome demise. So clear with the pen, whole flow so zen,
So, this is my friend, my most frequent collaborator when it came to music. I recorded all his stuff when I lived in Muskegon. I have mixed most of his stuff. There's a couple things that he did on himself, but from Deep Swish to MC Deep. But here's a quick story of our friendship. There was a Lord of the Rings class called The Modern Myth. That's how we met. It was just you read the Hobbit 1 marking period, whatever you call it, quarter, and then...
Semesters?
Well, no, semesters are 2 marking periods. There's a specific name for just the quarter of the school year.
Where did you go to school? Like the middle of the earth?
No.
How are they breaking up semesters? We just call them semesters.
Well, semesters were from the beginning of the year to Christmas time, and then from Christmas time to the end of the year, those are semesters.
And that's it. What? A marking period?
Oh, I don't remember what it was called. Just consider it a quarter, okay?
Okay. No, here's the thing. You're probably right. I'm more astounded by my own lack of knowledge of this country's education system.
Okay. Well, just break those quarters up and you read one of Tolkien's Lord of the Rings series. And there was this kid who was just kind of a spaz, didn't talk much, or did talk a lot, but didn't seem to, he was a nerd, okay? Most people in this class were seniors who were taking this as an easy English credit. I was a senior in this class, just taking all of the English credits. So I'm enjoying it. This person I become friends with, not enough friends with to have taken a picture of him sleeping in the class. And then 2 weeks later, I show him the picture and he's like, that's an invasion of privacy, sir. I was like, okay, fine. But flash forward, I left KYP and I'm like, hey guys, if you need a place to record, hit me up. I'm looking to just start recording people. And Tyler hits me up and says, hey, I'm doing this group called MC Deep. We're not that great. I heard your new songs, Himnam, Ace, and MCs Act Like They Don't Know. I'm really liking what you're doing. I'd love to come over and record. I'm like, yeah, send me what you have. And he's like, here it is. And I just was the driving force for all of Deep Swish and as a producer in the classic sense. And then he branched off to start doing solo stuff, and I don't remember. I think he just wanted to do a really dirty lo-fi sounding project. And he's like, how could we do this? And at the time I was messing around with a distortion, a saturation plugin called Homicide. It's so fucking good. It made an acoustic guitar sound like an electric guitar, like with feedback and all that. It's so good. It's a free plugin at that, and it's a 4-band saturation. So check that out, guys. You'll enjoy it.
Shouts out to Homicide.
Oh, or like Homicide or Homicide.
Yo, is the face I make when I think of those 4 bands, baby. Oh.
So he wanted to do this project and wanted it to sound like really dirty, kind of like ill communication-esque vocals. And I was like, well, one, let's use a performance microphone instead of the condenser. So then we're already playing off from like a natural distortion, not something that's super clear. And then let's just try and fuzz it up as much as possible. And I think when it comes to just how like the sound of a record, this is the best thing I've ever done, the low res tape. It's only like 6 songs and all of them are awesome. It's Rip Off Mike, such a good one. Duality, fantastic. Then Cassette Dreams with Filmy, Unnamed, and Loud. So I was hoping you would listen to this because you'd be like, wow, you guys in Muskegon really depressed. Because that's what it is.
Okay, yeah. I think I know that though.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I get as much as I'm sorry. Spoilers, be better than me and listen to this week's Unearth the Underground. Because I'm a trash bag. But yeah, you guys, you live in Muskegon. I can't imagine there's much joy in a town called Muskegon.
You're like, the 2 people I know from there are super depressed. Maybe that's a trend. And I was going to say, like, when it comes to Tyler's music, we're kind of a yin and a yang. We're both very depressed, but his music is about overcoming the depression, while mine is succumbing to the depression.
So he's dealing with it in a healthy manner.
Yeah.
You have to eat more.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Cool,
Formulaic,
cool.
baby. Also, but, you know, sometimes he's talking about, like, drinking and stuff. I don't do that. He says, 20 years I've been living here. 20 beers in my belly, cheers. PBR is what I'm drinking. Nicole and I would just say those lines relentlessly to him. It's from a very good song off from the Vintage Mischief mixtape.
I like it.
And
those are fun lines.
He's like, why do you guys make fun of a funny song that I've done, not the like super serious ones? And then we go, PBR is what I'm drinking. And then he says, oh, you guys are just a loop of sound bits. I guess I'm going to leave this conversation. But I think all the songs are awesome on this. My recommendations, if just Rip Off Mics and Duality. Start just the first 2 songs. If you like how it sounds, we did originally want to render this. Most music is rendered at 44.1 kilohertz. We wanted to go down 1 or 2 grades below to maybe 24 kilohertz or 32. But when we sent it to Filmy, the other person that's on this record, he was like, hey guys, I understand what you're doing here. However, the general public won't. They'll just think this sounds shitty. How you guys have gruffed up the vocals as is enough for you guys to convey this message without deterring people. And I'm glad he said that because it would have sounded real bad.
I get that. Yeah. I had an acting teacher that would always be like, it's better to go too far because it's easier to rein it back. It's a lot easier to take, the old adage was to put a veil over it. And I think it's the same way with experimentation, where like go too far, get fucking wild with it, with the understanding that it's easier to rein it back in when you go too far with it. But like, you gotta get Buck Cherry before you can get Cherry Cola.
Yeah, I will have played one of these songs so the listeners know, because this isn't all of these are underground records, but this one in particular, people will be like, what the fuck is this? It's on Bandcamp. Go get it. Make Tyler happy.
So random listeners will have done a better job researching this episode than I, one half of the hosts.
Yeah.
Least listened to podcast in the empire, baby.
I will also say on this album, it's been 8 years, so I can finally listen to Unnamed without the stress of having to mix it, because after mixing that, I was like, Tyler, were you not listening when were you just going in blindly, not listening to the main track while doing the overdubs? And he was like, no, what are you talking about? And I was like, this is the most off you have ever been on all of your overdubs. It took so long. He's like, I'm so sorry. I'm like, okay, fine. Just get out of here. Oh, and one final, this is a story after this was released and put out. So we got a phone call. We were living together. It was Tyler, Brandon, and myself. Brandon owned the trailer we lived in. I was the last one to get there, and Tyler was the bridge to me and Brandon and I became very good friends. But we hadn't seen Tyler in a while, and we got a call, and Brandon comes up to me and he's like, hey, you paid bills, right? And I'm like, yeah, I gave Tyler, I put my rent money in a DVD case because Nicole and I had gone to Chicago for the first time ever. And that's when we were like, oh, we got to move to Chicago. So I was like, yeah, I sent him that money. And he's like, well, I got a phone call from the trailer park management saying it was never paid for. And they're talking about lawyers and all that bullshit. I was like, oh, well, I, as the responsible one who had any money in his savings account, I will go get a money order just to figure this out. Well, we try and find Tyler because he was not answering any of our calls, and we were like calling everyone. He wasn't, just nothing. And
no.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on? To the point where we were like, maybe he's at his parents' house. Let's just go. We knock on the door. His mom answers and we're like, is Tyler here? And she said, yes, I'll go get him. He comes out like looking ashamed and very serious. And we're like, hey, man, you're responsible for the rent. What's up? And he's like, yeah, guys, I need to talk to you. So like during the weekend when James was out of town, I get the money, and I'm already like, why didn't you just wait to get the money when you got he had it in his wallet. So
I would say this is either the plot of Grandma's Boy or the last scenes from It's a Wonderful Life. And I'm not sure which way it's going to go.
So he said, over the weekend, I was with one of my Checkers coworkers. He worked at Checkers at the time.
Okay.
And we went to, I believe it's called the Odyssey.
Could be either, still leading a little towards Grandma's Boy.
The Odyssey is a strip club.
Okay, we're going full Grandma's Boy.
And he got shit-faced drunk, and when he woke up, all the money was gone.
Oh, we're going full Grandma's Boy by way of the Uncle Billy from It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah,
where it's not like he purposely, like he Uncle Billy'd his way into a Grandma's Boy. That's terrifying.
So not only did Tyler have to pay me, it was $111. That's split 3 ways. Our rent was $333,
which is not bad. I assume it's. I mean, you can't compare it to like Chicago.
Oh well, I mean, our rent was $333. Split 3 ways, it was $111.
Yeah, which is great.
But he did not have that money.
Which sucks. Like that's the thing. You could say it's great, but like if you don't have the money, you don't have the money, and that does change location to location.
And we didn't see him for like 4 days because he was just trying to find anyone who would loan him this money. And this was a big rift in our relationship because it felt like he stopped talking to us, and he was kind of just going to like dip out because he also owed me money for mixing this album. So on top of the 111, he owed me, I think I was charging him because it was, hey, take that off from my side of the rent and you pay for that. So maybe it was like $50 for this entire album to mix. That's about $9 per song. But yeah, luckily he paid back and he was very friendly about it. He no longer lived there, which sucked, but yeah, very fun album to listen to. And if you like this, please check out the album Black Suit. It's also on the Bandcamp, mcdeep.bandcamp.com. Black Suit is fucking fantastic. It was him, the Fed, or that Fed, which you like that name.
I do like Listen, big fan of the Fed. We know it. We love it. Billionaires per dillionaires.
So that was their like opus and the last album that Tyler has put out officially. It's so good. It's just Black Suit. There's a song on it called, and this will be the last thing I talk about, called Ascend. It's like a minute and a half. And it's just, there's some auto-tune and vocoder on it that I put on, and it sounds beautiful. 2 thumbs up. Check it out. Let's get into Lucha Underground.
Hell yeah. This is Season 1, Episode 11, Last Luchador Standing. Before we start anything, I guess initial thoughts on this episode.
I had to watch this twice.
Oh, because it was so heart-pounding?
Well, because there was one day where I was like, I have so much fucking work to do.
I would say we're double dipping today.
Yes, and that's why at the end of my workday, I was like, I won't have time to watch this episode on the day we're recording because we are doing 2 records, one of Formulaic, one of this, where I was like, I need to watch this and take notes. And I just wasn't in the headspace to fully enjoy it. So I was like, I got to give it a second try. Even on the second try, I think I know what was the issue. And that is the commentary between these two, Vampiro and Stryker, sucks so fucking hard. This is their worst commentary out of any of these 11 episodes.
I took a couple notes on them. I don't know. Maybe I've been like just so jaded to bad wrestling commentary. I think they're fun. I think it could be worse. But again, I've listened to a lot of like just not good commentary, over the years. So like, like at least they're knowledgeable when they're knowledgeable, and they care when they care.
This was all color, no commentary.
Yeah, which is something I think they run into a lot. I think Stryker is good when he does. But actually, I like that. I like color. I like play-by-play. What am I talking about?
Well, I mean, also, this was a grayscale color commentary where it was just all color, but colorless. It was unenjoyable and bland.
All right. Well, let's get into it. First thing I want to do, and the reason I'm going to bring it up, I don't want to spend time on it. Something I enjoy about the recaps and what they've become, they didn't start this way, but especially this week, it's not just recapping the big stories, the obvious things you would have gotten by watching the show weekly. They're recapping things you would not have noticed, which I think was also, I guess was part of this episode. Like they recap the crew, how much they suck and have not helped Big Rick. They highlight that. And then they highlight Penta, I'm not respected in Mexico, Gon Jr., and how he's making poor career choices by hanging out with Chavo. 2 very much B storylines, but were absolutely happening in the background and are setting up for something.
Or also necessary for the matches that will be happening.
Absolutely. And like, that's what good, I think that's like a really nice ensemble piece. You kind of want that. You want to cycle through, when you have an ensemble series, you want to cycle who are the main characters in the episodes. You want to have Power Rangers on the mind for some reason. But you want to have a Zach heavy episode and then a Trina heavy episode. You do want to cycle that pretty like healthily and a lot-ally so that it doesn't get tired. And that's why I'm kind of like stoked about this. Also, I'm just a big old Pentagon Jr. fan.
Yeah,
because I don't remember that I'm not respected in Mexico promo. We probably talked about it. But my brain is mush.
Yeah, there's 0 wrinkles on that, baby.
Yeah. 0 miedo, but also 0 wrinkles. Smooth as a baby bottom. We cut to the desk, and Matt and Vamp are hyping up the last Luchador Standing match between Cuerno and Drago, where the hunt has just begun, and it will begin and end tonight. Woo! Last Luchador Standing. Love a last man standing. Stoked for that main event. But we got a whole bunch of wrestling to get to before that, don't we?
And Stryker's voice has recovered, which, Sean...
Yes.
You're the wrestling fan. Why aren't you the one bringing this information to the show? Which is, I looked up the recording schedule, and thank God Reddit exists, because there's a Lucha Underground Reddit who these people say like, hey, tickets are coming out now for these dates. And then you can go to separate websites that confirm this. And it was, they record 2 shows on Saturday, 2 shows on Sunday. Only the weekends were when they were filming. And then in later seasons, the ones that had more than like 24 episodes, those sometimes they would film 3 episodes in the same time.
Okay. Which is, thank you for looking that up, because I just had speculations of they're recording more than 1 episode at a time.
Also, more than 2 episodes or 2 days per week. I thought it was like Monday through Friday. We're going to do 2 episodes every single day. I'm thinking like Double Dare. I knew Double Dare, I think, would film 5 episodes a day, Monday through Friday.
Yeah, which would be, and I wonder if that part of it is just wrestling, where like if they went a 5-day-a-week schedule with 2 episodes is a lot. But that's also kind of the WWE schedule. They have like a very grueling schedule. Also, like with live shows, with house shows.
But also, you have to put in, I think the WWE schedule is worse because you have to put into consideration the traveling.
I literally think the only schedule worse than WWE might be Saturday Night Live, and I'm not even sure. Because you do have to factor in traveling.
I think Matt McCarthy wrote for both, so... I don't know if he's commented on that, but he has commented on how the scheduling, even as a writer, fucking sucked. It was a dream job that became a nightmare.
Yeah. And imagine like, that's a writer. Imagine having to also like, hey, at some point I have to hit the gym, you know, at some point, like, I have to like do all this stuff to make sure my pecs are pecking and my abs are shimmering. Like that's so much work going into working for the WWE. It's insane. And on top of that, Vince McMahon things. Like, a lot of problems. But yeah, that explains a lot. That explains a little bit of the, again, phenomenal match. I do implore people to seek it out. But some of that sluggishness in the beginning, in the first gear of Phoenix and Puma, and how long. Okay, so we have a clear on Stryker's voice. He sounds like a people again, which is great. How much longer do you think Mike Knox, the referee, is going to keep that cast on his hand? I feel like Mike Knox, great referee. He's refereeing. He's a PWG ref, as well as a bunch of other indies, especially in the SoCal region of the states. He referees for AEW nowadays. He has had a cast on, I think, his right hand since like the 2nd episode. And I'm very concerned about this man's hand. And I'll say it, his masturbating practices. I'm worried for Mike Knox in 2014.
Well, that would only be 4 weeks.
Okay.
Tops.
I know, but it feels so much longer. And could you go 4 weeks without whacking it? I couldn't. I refuse.
Well, that's why you just rub your ding-dong on things, idiot.
I am an idiot. That is true. You know what? That's true.
You hump a pillow.
Man, you know what pillow I want to hump? A body pillow featuring this opening tag match between Castro and Cisco. That's Mr. Cisco. That's Mr. Cisco. With Bale versus Pimpinella Escarlata and Masquerita Sangrata. Oh, hey, Bale. As they're announcing it, and if you forgot, which I would not blame you, Cortez Castro, Mr. Cisco, that's Mr. Cisco, and Bale are the crew of Big Rick. These guys are the hired guns, the hired thugs. I believe Vampiro referred to their style as prison shower style.
Oh, Daddy.
That's for true. I like that Bale is just like even Bale's in the ring already with a kendo stick. It's just like, yeah, we're gonna fight someone. But we have Pimpinella and Masquerita. What a match!
Yeah,
I was excited. I was pleasantly surprised by this match.
Yeah, I enjoyed both wrestling styles of like, hey, they do such a great job at being the street fighters type style as opposed to like this high flying wrestling. There's a distinct comparison. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
It was great. Everyone did well.
Which I think is so much fun in shows like wrestling, is that it should feel like a variety show. It's kind of same thing with like Avengers, or like the problem with certain like Joss Whedon moments in the Avengers movies is that everything feels like a Joss Whedon movie. where like I do want Iron Man to sound different from Captain America, you know, and I want these differing styles. I want Hulk to kind of be a sad bastard because everybody hates him. You know, I want those textures, and having the crew. I call them the crew. I don't know. I didn't catch if they had an actual name.
I thought they did. I thought it was the crew.
Is it just the crew? Okay.
Maybe that's because you keep saying it.
Maybe it's just. It might be me. I was writing for Lucha Underground in 2014.
Whoa.
I know, it was crazy. I was let go for reasons of being not good at writing, but like,
meaning that like you have no idea, much like most people don't know how to use chopsticks, you just cannot figure out a pen or pencil.
For the life of me. I stare at it until I hope it moves like K-Pac, but then I realize I'm not K-Pac.
But insanely, you are so fucking good with chopsticks.
It's the curse of my life. But thankfully, I'm drowning in sweet and sour chicken, so I'm doing okay.
You are very good with one of those circle doodads.
The spirograms?
Yeah, because they're kind of like a chopstick.
Yeah, okay. I don't think I actually know what you're talking about.
They make circles. You put a pencil in it. It's for like design work.
Oh, protractors, right?
Well, protractors can also do that. I'm thinking of it's like a one. It doesn't matter.
One is a metal pointy thing. The other is a pencil. You split it open like crab legs that you're about to fuck.
Okay, yeah.
You know, when you have sex with crabs. And then you draw a circle. I thought that was a form of protractor. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I was really excited to see Cortez Castro show off. No offense to Mr. Sisko. I think some of the reason Mr. Sisko's style looks so rough is because he is a little rough, maybe.
Yeah. Since we're in the match, we did brush over after he says, "That's Mr. Sisko." And then the crowd starts booing and he screams to them, "We don't like you either."
You know what? Mr. Sisko's the best.
Yeah.
You don't always have to be the cleanest wrestler in the world to yell at an audience and to have that's Mr. Sisko line put in there.
I would love to see a character who is a foil to Pimpy, who is truly like someone. Pimpy loves to just kiss wrestlers in the ring. I would love...
And referees.
Yes, I would love either a ref or another wrestler, probably another wrestler, gets kissed and then says, "No, no, no." And then like motions to off like backstage, and then an HR character comes out and is like, "Hey, you can't do this, Pimpy. Like, unless this is cleared by the other wrestler, no, what are you doing? This is a lawsuit."
Wrestling, you know what? Wrestling should have more HR. I agree.
Characters or not.
Yeah, we get a line in there on speaking of commentary, Vampiro, I believe, refers to the match as a gangbang. They're gangbanging Pimpy. Matt Striker comes in with, "Can you not use the term gangbang when Pimpanella's in the ring?" And I'm like, damn. Even when Striker doesn't want to be horny, he's horny. You know what? I've come around. I feel bad for this poor Matt Striker. He's just always horny.
I don't
he can't
think
help
he
it.
is.
He needs help.
He's probably a virgin.
That's why he's so horny.
He's zuzzy zazz.
We need to get this Matt Striker laid so he can calm the fuck down and call this Pimpinella match, which is great. People are real excited for. It's hard to watch Pimpinella and like not be on board. They're so good. They understand who they are so well. They're so fun to watch. They are just the epitome of babyface. I love Pimpinella. They're phenomenal. And they do some real cool stuff as Big Rick makes his way down to watch the match from the stairs with his big stinky cigar.
Which I would love, because they're like, oh, he's puffing smoke into the face of LA regulations, because how are you smoking here? I would love this, Sean. A vape pen that looks like a lit cigar, so you can still have that motion doing the vape pen, looking like you're chowing down on a big old stogie.
I think they do make those.
Okay.
But is anything that's like, it is a small, this is not an arena. This is a small television studio with fairly high ceilings, but probably about the size of a medium to small warehouse, I would guess. Or at least that's what they're trying to make it look. It's probably even smaller. So fuck that cigar. It stinks to high heaven. I forgot how loud Pimpy's chops were. Pimpy, the wrestler I mentioned before, Effie, got to wrestle Pimpinella Escalada at his recent Effie's Big Gay Brunch event, GCW. This is probably about less than a year ago. And I love it. And Effie's also wrestled someone called the Murder Grandpa, Minoru Suzuki, affectionately named the Murder Grandpa, legend in Japanese wrestling, one of the big guys behind sort of bridging the gap between mixed martial arts and pro wrestling from the Antonio Inoki Nerd Wrestling. Effie wrestled both of these competitors, Pimpinella and Minoru Suzuki. Again, Minoru Suzuki, the guy who fought people for real with his wrestling style, and has gone on record to say Pimpinella strikes harder.
Oh, damn.
And you could hear it. Those chops are loud. When they reel back their hand and slap the titty of Castro, I feel it in my bones all the way from 2014. It's brutal. I love it. We have another interesting moment on commentary where Vamp and Stryker discussed the pronouns of Pimpinella years before they were equipped to do so. But also made me realize, and I looked around, I couldn't do it. I'm not sure on Pimpy's pronouns, actually.
I thought it was he.
They think it's he as well.
But from researching, it could be dependent on the wrestler themselves, but based on what is this style of wrestling called?
Exotico.
Exotico, when I was looking that up, it seems like it is like they are men. Like they're not trying to play like, oh, we are actually women in the ring. That part made me feel like you would use he, him, but it could be based solely on the wrestler.
Yeah, like I'm very curious. I'll have to actually go. I should have had the time to like actually go through the backlog of Effie podcasts and find the episode where he talks about his match with Pimpy. Because I'm curious. And I'm not totally sure that Vampiro and Matt Stryker cleared that with Pimpinella beforehand. Maybe they did. We should give them the benefit of the doubt. But they are Matt Stryker and Vampiro. So yeah, it's what it is. I think one of the coolest things I've ever seen in my life, I believe it's Castro, throws Pimpy into the corner, then charges. Pimpy reverses the charge by climbing the second rope and sticking out their butt. Castro runs headfirst into Pimpy's butt and is laid down. This is the best wrestling match I've ever seen in my life. 10 out of 10 stars. Unfortunately, even with a smooch Pimpy lands, it's not enough to get the win. Crew picks it up. Big rig on Masquerita for the W at 4 minutes and 48 seconds. And there's a little post-match.
Hell yeah, brother.
The little post-match is Big Rick sitting on the stairs smoking a cigar. Oh, and before I forget, there is a shot of the mysterious leather woman.
Which, very odd because, like, she's there officially right now because she has, like, a lanyard with a all-access pass and all of that.
And, like, a crew t-shirt. Like, she's not in leather at all. I think she's wearing jeans.
I feel like she is what is going to happen. This is my prediction right now based on what we've seen. She is an agent or a talent scout from another federation, another fed.
WW something. I couldn't think of the last letter.
WWP, Pro or World Wrestling Pro Time.
P. Okay.
Or World Wrestling Professionally.
Just
or PP. Hey, you doing Pissmas this year?
You know it, baby. I think
Hell
so.
yeah.
I gotta double check those dates.
Okay. I wanted to do this song last year, but Nicole, let me. Well, first, what was I talking about?
I think the first thing you said that the mysterious woman in leather when
Agent.
she's not wearing t-shirt and jeans. You think it's an agent?
Yeah, and either for a real wrestling promotion or a fake one of like, hey, I'm gonna bring these people over. I think she's going to be something along those lines. That's my guess.
Can I give you my guess?
What's up?
I'm gonna say she's connected to the Key some way. I think she's an agent, but not for another company. She's like a 3-letter agent. She's undercover hunting down Cueto, who is doing something very magic and very illegal.
Oh, okay.
I think that's what I'm thinking. Maybe that. Maybe she's trying to figure out what's going on with the Key. What the hell is Mil Muertes up to? Mm-hmm. What's that rock they keep licking? What's happening here? Johnny Mundo's abs? How? Just how? I feel like that's where I'm leaning towards. I'm not sure though. That's my hypothesis.
Real quick, it looks, at least on a wrestling forum, someone said like, hey, I recommend using proper pronouns for Pimpy, and they said he is an Exotico luchador.
Matt Stryker, Vampiro, I owe you a big old stinking apology. I'm so sorry.
But again,
I don't know where I heard that. Yeah.
These are people from 2014, so I don't know.
And specifically wrestling fans and personalities in 2014.
Yeah.
Like, 10 years behind on everything.
Every year for Pissmas, we do a Pissmas Carol, which is just a parody of a Christmas song. Last year, I presented just these first 2 lines to Nicole, and I was like, hey, I think this is where we should go for this one. And then she said no. And it's frothy yellow man made from squally urine holes. And she said no, not absolutely not.
No, I heard the first part when you said it.
And I was like, then you want to know what? How about you write something better? And she didn't. So this year, I did the entire one. This is the full song. Can I do it?
Do you think we have time?
Yeah, of course. Frothy yellow man made from squally urine holes with a steamy stripe when the runoff froze and a spell spoke from a scroll. Frothy yellow man can't be buried beneath clay. Pee-pee coats his throat as he bellows in boats of his magic yellow spray. Us Pissmas folks were ecstatic the day Frothy came to town. For when we saw his drippy head, the king of Pissmas had been crowned. Then it goes, Frothy. Then it starts fading out.
Nice. You know what my favorite part of that is?
What's up?
I think you knew I was trying to ice you out, and I paid for it. I was trying to do the real long pause and then go back into the episode as a burn to my friend for a bit. Like, it's actually, I like that. It's quality lyrics there. But I just wanted to ice you out for, I don't know, humor purposes. And instead, I just got the whole song. So it goes to show you, if you're being an asshole to your friends, be careful, or you're gonna get what you deserve. Rocco Modern Lifestyle. Post match.
I
Big
will
Rick?
just real quick. There was another one that Nicole's like, absolutely not. And it's like a song about someone not understanding the Pissmas tradition, which was last Pissmas I gave you a shart, and it was about like someone just shitting.
Pissmas is about sharding. Yeah, it's a different thing. That's actually,
but it strings together someone knowing the Pissmas tradition.
I kind of want a romantic comedy where like maybe it's the first scene. It's not the whole movie, but it's a very lonely guy. He's trying to get back into the dating world, or a very lonely person. They're trying to get back into the dating world. And you just see, maybe we don't show it a lot, but they're getting kicked out of like a water sports swingers event because they sharded themselves and they don't quite understand. Like, well, I thought this is what we're doing. It's like, no, we're peeing on each other. You did something different. Get out of here.
Yeah, I was pissing out my ass.
That's poop and you know it. Get out of here. If it's brown, you can't come around. Aw. Post-match, because there's no transition for this. Big Rick enters the ring with a cigar in his hand and thoughts on his mind. He is here to let everyone know, and he means every one of you, pointing to the crew, that he is here for gold and that we all must answer the judgment of Big Rick. And then, chop block to the back of the knee of Big Rick by the crew. They've turned on him. He got swerved, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I was legitimately shocked.
Same.
I did not think, I kind of thought this would be like a long-term thing. I thought Big Rick was kind of the glue behind the crew. As it turns out, now fuck this guy. Kendo shots and I love this spot. They hold Big Rick down, Bale and Castro, while Cisco takes the cigar that Big Rick kind of handed him when he started his monologue and shoves the burning cigar into his eye. Fucking brutality.
gives him a stamp. The stamp you should want is a Darling Homebody stamp, which you'll receive on all your Darling Homebody Society orders. Head over to darlinghomebody.com right now for more details.
Absolutely. Just like the crew headed over into Cueto's office after the match. And we cut to Cueto's office after a commercial break, but we don't have commercial breaks because we're watching on the internet in 2022, baby. And Dario is paying out the crew in the office, musing on how Big Rick's inability to see how valuable we could be to one another. Cueto punches home that if you have my back, I'll dig deeper. And they kind of nod and he pauses, and I love this. He goes, "Can I get a yes, sir?" And they all give him the yes, sir. And I'm feeling it. I'm not, honestly, I wasn't feeling Big Rick and the crew as much as I'm feeling Cueto and the crew.
Yeah.
I think this makes sense. Like, I think Big Rick is, it's just so much more sinister. And to be fair, Cueto, Big Rick's great. I like Big Rick a lot, but it's hard to be more sinister than this guy, Dario Cueto, who's crushing it. Cannot overstate enough how good of a bad guy authority figure, and like how like weaselly and sniveling but powerful and awe-inspiring at the same time. Love it.
Now, I would much rather Big Rick team up with Puma and Mundo.
I'm hoping
later on to just take down the crew.
I love that. I would love to see that character arc of having to apologize. Like, man, I've been a douchebag, but I'm kind of up shit's creek right now without a Chris Elliott.
It'd be like a Vegeta situation.
I would love a Vegeta situation with Big Rick. I'm hoping. I forget. I remember I looked it up before when he retired. I know it's like right after his time with Lucha Underground. I don't know if he makes it past season 1, so we'll see.
Oh, no.
I know. That's okay. But yeah, the crew is officially signed to Cueto exclusively. And Vamp Hero, I said that weird. Vampire Hero has an exclusive interview with Cage. That's the guy he's not even a man, he's not a machine.
Yeah, he said, hey, Vampiro goes, I'm here with the man they call Cage. I'm like, he is not a man called Cage.
He's not a man.
He is the slowly moving machine that is called Cage.
Wait, slowly moving? I'll give it, of all the reasons we can shit on Cage, which we will have, he moves wonderfully.
No, remember the cage moves slowly that you put that dog in?
I forgot. Oh, wow. I'm so glad. Well, you know what? If that's the cage, it has to be actually a very quick moving cage.
Oh, shit. Oh, it moves real fast.
Quick.
And that scares the dogs even more. Dude, you're so good at tormenting canines.
Anyway, this guy's not Angelico, so I tuned out. That's not fair. I tuned back in.
Cops buy a lot of these cages, I'll be very honest.
Vamp lets Cage know that he's arrogant. No, do it. I'm just going to keep... Yeah,
They are trying to get me to build... It just takes so much more ingenuity. A horse-sized cage so they can put their horses in there.
Sure. I think that's the plot to the Four Musketeers.
Uh-huh.
Vampiro lets Cage know that he's arrogant and that everyone backstage hates you. What's up with that? Which is the greatest first question to an interview ever. Hey, James, I think you're arrogant. I think you're a piece of shit. Everyone thinks you're a piece of shit. I fucking hate you. I'm gonna stop shitting in Chavo's bag just so I can start shitting in your throat. I hate you so much. So does everyone else. What's up with that?
Man.
How do you respond?
I will respond like this. Wow, man, you're validating the voices inside my head.
Thank you so much. And Cage is like, going back to Cage is like a big guy that moves really well, was in the WWE system for a minute and just kind of like fell through the cracks. I'm sure there is a little bit of insecurity in this man.
But it doesn't come off.
It doesn't. He's wonderful.
I love him so much in this because he could be extremely pompous of like, I'm the best fuckers, which he kind of is, but in a factual way. Of saying like, yes, here's my record. Here is how I act. Here is how I maneuver. All things point to me getting the gold. That's what I'm going to do. Like he feels like a sweetie who is there to wrestle, and I like it.
Yeah. And even his response is he kind of has the perfect response to, hey, everybody hates you. What's up with that? He says, I don't give a shit. What is this, high school?
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. If you go somewhere where you're doing good work and everyone hates you, but you love the work you're doing, fuck that shit. Most likely they're jealous. And they ain't taking none of that high school bullshit. And as soon as he says that, his job's that we're not here to make friends. I'm here to be the best. Like, I can, not visually, but spiritually, see Vampiro's cock getting hard for this answer. I can see the wheels turning, just going, yes, I love that. Fuck Masquerita. Kick that guy in his face. I fucking hate that dude, and I hate Friends Vampiro style. I loved it. I love it. Vampiro loves it. He follows up with talking about taking out the champ right off the bat. Cage says, yeah, I'm not going to wait my turn. I'm taking my shot. And it's really what it's all about. Cage is jumping the line because now is his time. There's not, there's not like a clear list of like who's in line for shots. It's kind of, which is like what wrestling has been in most companies. It's like, hey, if you show up and you let us know, you prove yourself and you sell tickets, yeah, you get to the front of the line. There's not a clear line like that. And Cage is here letting him know. Yeah. He's not here to make friends. He's here to win the Bachelor.
He does also say, hey, I'm going to take that 20 pounds of gold. And I call bullshit artist on that. Is that thing really 20 pounds? That's so heavy for a belt.
It might. I mean, the NWA title is famously the 10 pounds of gold. And it's not a very big belt. That's a pretty, compared to this one, it's pretty small. So it's probably around, maybe more like 15, but 20 sounds better. But yeah, I love it. Vamp says, what makes you so sure you're going to dominate? Cage, this is kind of like towards the end. Cage says, it doesn't matter how long I've been here. I'm not going to wait my turn. I'm not going to wait he doubles down. He's not going to wait his turn. Disney banned me 4 times for cutting lines and bitches' throats. I cut both of them, and I don't give a shit because I'm Cage, baby. And I love that for him, and I hate that mouse. And then he drops that he wrestled Conan, and he beat him. And you see Vampiro's face go, damn. Oh, I didn't know you wrestled Conan. Shit. And I'm excited. I'm excited for Cage.
He says, yeah, I wrestled him away from that cane of his.
Oh. We have another match coming up. Superfly versus Pentagon Jr. By the way, shout out to Superfly in the all denim long vest. I fucking loved it. That's my he's not my guy. And Helico's my guy, but that's my vest. Easily. I love it. This is the first time we've seen Penta since he was betrayed by Chavo. And they let us know up top, this is a competitive match for 2 mid-carders to break from the herd, right? They don't have a lot of personal animosity going into this. This is about proving themselves to get out of this sort of like mid-range and like boost themselves up to the top. And like that's Penta's whole thing, man. Everyone in Mexico hates him. He has no respect, and he fucking deserves it because he's great. He's not the flyest. He's not the fast. He's not the speediest. He's not the most high fly flippiest. But he's got insane fucking grapples. He is a brilliant base, and he's got Pimpinella level chops too. Mm-hmm. Like when he slaps you in the titties, you feel it in your butt, which is all I can ask for in a chop. And they also go over this Zero Miedo, which is zero fear. It means no fear for the rest of your days. And I love it. And the crowd's cranting it. No, the crowd's chanting it. James.
No, I think they're cranting it.
They're granting it. The child is granting Zero Miedo. Clap, 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 clap. And it's so weird to see that just because like that happens now. And it's different. Like Penta is a babyface now, like today in 2022. It's weird seeing this transition of like, kind of like I'll do whatever it takes. I'm a piece of shit. I hang out with Chavo Guerrero, Penta, into what we get today, which like is one of the best messages. Someone asked him, there was a kid at a post pay-per-view scrum, like media scrum, and they're like, what is Zero Miedo mean? And he kind of breaks it down. He's like, well, hell, first of all, he's adorable with children. He is a father of it, himself. So he's great with kids.
Whoa, he's a father of himself?
Yep, he is his own grandfather too.
Damn.
He is Tom Arnold from The Stupids. But he breaks it down. It's like, no, it's about going in there with no fears. Going in there and doing it and not just doing it. Just Nike style. But none of that corporate bullshit tied to it. And I'm just like, you're such a baby face. Like, what? Why are you hanging out with Chavo?
Sean, I'll say this right now. One of my notes. at the end of this match. It's not a surprise he went babyface because I put down Penta is a dirt bike kid.
Penta is a dirt bike kid.
He ain't no dirt bag kid.
No, this kid, oh my God. Penta is the most dirt bike kid. I definitely grew up on the wrong side of the tracks and just, maybe made some passes at a cheerleader, got punched in the gut for it, and said, you know what? I'm going to take out this aggression on the dirt tracks. I fucking love this guy. He hits the Tanahashi clothesline, today known as the Sling Blade, closes the match off with a package pile driver for the win at 5 minutes, 10 seconds.
He did it.
And correction, I apologize. The mysterious Leather Woman appears in this match.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I fucked up. Then post-match, he cuts, I think, is this the first promo in Spanish we've had? I think so. No.
Because Penta's done another one, and I think that one Hunter got. King Cuerno might have done, or maybe it might have just been Penta maybe twice.
It might have been Penta twice. I don't think Phoenix has talked much yet. But Penta breaks it down for the crowd. He thought Chavo was a legend, that he could help me. That dude is a fraud. Penta knows there is someone willing to join forces and help me because I'm Pentagon Jr. Cerro Miedo. Now, who is this mystery partner that will help him? Is it the mysterious leather woman? Is it Kevin Steen, who was using the package pile driver at the time? Is it M-Dog 20? I don't know, but I'm excited to find out.
I wrote down Penta's looking for a sixth. He needs another dinosaur to go in with the rest.
Wait, what?
Pentagon, it's 5 gons.
Oh, God damn it. I forgot. Yeah, okay, good callback. Perfect joke. I'm a dummy. I loved it. We move on to Sexy Star versus El Mariachi Loco.
Can I say, I was like, what did I write down? I was like, this collection of guys is really good. This collection of gains. Oh, it's this collection of gons is really good. The dinosaur from Tekken.
5 gons, of course, from Tekken 3 and the popular manga, Gon.
Yeah.
Sexy Star versus El Mariachi Loco is a great match. It's weird how much the story with Sexy Star right now is that she's a role model, and they love letting her know she's a role model, not just for girls, but for boys, for men, for women, for everyone. And then you're just like, yeah, she also is a scumbag who won't be booked after trying to break Rosemary's arm.
Yeah, but that's a future thing. We don't need to keep bringing that up. What we should keep bringing up is how goddamn Pentagon should not be in any league whatsoever. He is 5 prehistoric dinosaurs who just were on an island, came together, put on face paint, Juggalo style, kind of formed into a Voltron, if you will, of a professional wrestler.
James, you ignorant slut. My only note for Pentagon Jr. is that I think they should bring back the fart-based offense.
Oh, yeah.
Gon famous. I think that's the one thing that's missing. And as soon as these 5 Gons stacked on top of each other, wearing face paint and doing sling blades, bring back a little bit of Tootskis, unstoppable. Unstoppable.
Here's how you know I'm a younger brother, is that my brother, older, many times would say, fuck you, James, and walk away because I would just get him cornered and spam that fart maneuver over and over again until he would die and he would leave. Also with the XO for law of the like backwards like jump kick.
Love that. Love the back. That one's a little trickier though because that's a little bit more on timing, where with Gon, it's like, I'm a tiny dude with like 0 hitbox. I'm going to fart on you for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Where like, actually like, that's my main. I still play Tekken. And like Law is my main because catching someone with that backflip kick is the best feeling in the world. Speaking of backflips, I'm backflipping for this Mariachi Loco mask. The fucking tongue is sticking out. I don't think he's going to get real high on the card.
I hope he does.
I hope he does too. I love his story. I love that he's just a dishwasher whose dreams are coming true. I love the mask. I love the black and the red. And I love that he never tried to actually break Rosemary's arm.
I also hope he doesn't actually work for tips because knowing the wrestling business, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, that's a big thing. In Mexico is after I think it's Mexico after a match. that people really like. They'll throw singles into the ring.
Oh, hell yeah.
So hell yeah. So I don't know, maybe. We'll see.
I do like the pairing of these two because they are both sexy in their fighting. When both of them get grappled from behind, they both wiggle out all seductively. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. Yo, Sexy Star to get out of that go behind. She drops, I don't know if I've seen this before, or I don't see it a lot. She drops all the way to her ass. She does a full sit out while he's like behind her grabbing the waist. And that was very cool. That was very impressive. It's a bummer she's a terrible person, but that looked great. And Mariachi, with gyrations for days, still can't get it done. As Sexy Star rolls away from a flipping senton, a swanton bomb if you will, and hits Mariachi Loco for the small package. 3 minutes, 50 seconds. James, you disagree.
I cannot believe you'd bring in that drug peddling piece of shit. Oh, hey guys, children, wear your swanton armbands, and well, you also get prepared because you know there's little holes in those armbands. It's placements for where the best veins are.
Oh my God, I cannot believe you would say these things. The views of James Marshland McCollum do not represent Sweaty Time Pro Wrestling. Jeff Hardy, we wish you a speedy recovery in your road to sobriety.
Jeff Hardy, the individual, absolutely. Jeff Hardy, the role model to children, no.
He never shot up on TV.
Okay, well, yeah, but his character is clearly seductively saying that in his wrestling moves.
I think his character is just seductive. End of sentence. Break me off a piece of that armband with holes that everyone wanted. That's peak Hot Topic fashion. At that time, oh my God, maybe not in 2014, but back like in 2005, 2001. Ooh,
Sean, if we ever go to a pro wrestling match together, You'll be waiting at the bus stop right out front of the venue. And as I walk out, you'll notice a hot pink arm thing on me. And you'll be like, geez, you need to take that off. People will think you're the lamest.
Absolutely not. Okay. I will slowly roll up the sleeves on my denim jacket to show you mine. And then I'll put a finger to my lips to say, shh, wait till we get in. And then I'll put on my feather boa because secretly I've been a Hulk Hogan fan this whole time. What a twist.
Whoa.
I love that piece of shit garbage wrestler who fucking did so much more damage to people than help and also had a weird relationship with his daughter. God, I love that absolute piece of human trash garbage.
Hey, if Brooke were my daughter, I'd have the same exact relationship with her. Am I right? Oh, yeah.
After the match, we cut to two little boys with Lucha Underground shirts and tough guy security glasses in the crowd with their hands on their hips. I'm assuming this is Machete security.
Maybe. I do also, real quick, this is a rumor in quotes, I'm pretty sure it's factual, about the Hulkster. His pubic hair is also shaved as the same of his mustache.
Oh, yes. That's what happens when you say your prayers and you eat your vitamins. You get a handlebar pube stash.
Mm-hmm.
And you get to this final match of the evening, the main event. James, it is King Cuerno versus Drago, last luchador standing.
And speaking of facial hair, we see Drago's got a little scruff on him.
Drago did not shave this morning. King Cuerno living rent-free in his head, maybe. Just maybe. The rules of a last luchador standing, also known as the last man standing, is no disqualification. There are no pinfalls. There are no submissions. The only way to win is having your opponent not answering a 10 count on their feet. Boxing style.
And it should be known, on their feet, shoulders don't need to be on the ground.
No, you need to be like on your feet. Like a boxer, you need to be on your feet. You need to be responsive. Like, it's one of those things, as is everything in wrestling, up to referee discretion, what on your feet means. But, like, I always took it to assume, like, a 10 count knockout a la Super Punch Out with Little Mac and others. I never actually played that game.
Sean, you're a 10-star knockout.
Oh my gosh, do you mean that?
I do. Ladies, let's do this Nedden game shit on Twitch with Sean.
I'm a juggalo, and I'm ready for you juggahos.
No, juggalettes.
Oh, right. I'm definitely a real juggalo.
Or
Don't-
juggalos. I truly don't know your sexual orientation, Sean.
You don't? Okay.
I mean, you've said you've had girlfriends, but you could be bisexual. You could be pansexual.
That's true. I could be. Drago's speed takes over the first. Was I supposed to answer that? No, that wasn't a
no,
question.
just leave it
Yeah.
mystery, baby.
Drago's speed takes over first, as it's wont to be. There's two very distinct. We talked before about styles. I like this match so much because on the surface, if you're just kind of like driving by real quick, it might look like, oh yeah, it's two dudes in masks. They're both real jacked. I bet they're both like high flyers. But there is a distinction. Drago takes over quickly with a lot of like high impact stuff. He's the first guy to bounce off the ropes multiple times to build up speed. Cuerno is a lot more focused. We've said this before. One of the reasons I don't know. I did not expect for me to be such a Cuerno fan when this podcast started. I fucking love him. Because it is so, he's playing chess. He's playing mind games. He's the one in the head of Drago trying to figure out where he's going to go before he slaps him. Mm-hmm. And that's the match. Speed versus brain. What's the word I'm looking for?
Brawn?
Not brawn. Because he's not just like, I'm stronger than you. It's I guess, tactics, tactician, strategy, something like that.
Speed versus patience.
That's perfect. Speed versus patience. The timing of Cuerno versus the absolute overwhelmingness that is Drago. Who takes over first? He's on top. After Cuerno, which is unlike Cuerno, whiffs on a missile drop kick. Cuerno tries to take over first, but absolutely misses everything on a drop kick, lands on his tuchus, and is Drago's to take over. He hits a big double rope running, like just bounces off the ropes, bounces off the ropes, bounces off the ropes, bounces off the ropes.
Boing, boing.
Then hits that drop kick to the face of Cuerno before the tope senton, knocking Cuerno silly for a 7 count. So early in the match, we already got a 7 count. And it's still all Drago. Drago hitting the hanging DDT. Cuerno has to roll out for distance. And this is where the patience of Cuerno shows itself. He rolls out, he creates the distance, he lets Drago close that distance himself, do all the work to catch him into a running sit-out powerbomb on the floor for another 7 count. Excuse me.
Sean, if we were in a last man standing match, what I'd do is I'd staple your nuts to the ground.
No! You know what I do? I'd tie your eyelids open and feed you nothing but sleeping pills.
I thought you were going to start doing the whole Wu-Tang Clan thing.
Yeah, I didn't remember all of them. I was hoping you would go next and then I would like come back.
It's like you sew their butthole shut and keep feeding them.
Yeah, that's definitely one. There's something about peeing on them.
I thought there was also a hot wire hanger.
I bet. Like I'm gonna fold your clothes after you do your laundry and hang it up on a hot wire hanger, you messy boy.
I'm gonna mommy dearest you.
In that you're going to be a phenomenal actor who maybe takes things a little too far, Joan Crawford. Okay?
No, I'm just gonna scream, no more wire hangers, and beat a child.
Oh, no. Well, I'm going to now Voyager you, where you will be my patient and I will give you the confidence you need to go on a cruise and meet the man of your dreams and finally break away from your overbearing mother, Betty Davis.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do is voyeur you. I'm going to get the apartment across the street from yours and just record you from your window.
Okay, well, what I'm going to do is Poyer you, which is where I convince everyone you're Jordan Poyer, safety for the Buffalo Bills, and I send you over there to play for their defense, which desperately needs it right now. We're down Trey Edmonds, we're down Trey White. It's a madhouse. It's a madhouse.
Sean, I'm going to Tom Sawyer you. I'm going to make you paint a fence.
Great. I'm going to Tom Club you. That's where we break off from the Talking Heads and we get a #1 single that gets covered by Mariah Carey.
I'm going to Long John you. I'm going to put you in some nice little, like, flannel pants and shove you out and say, hey, everyone, he thinks he was abducted by an alien.
Wait, what? Oh, okay, because hillbillies. Oh, yeah. I'm actually gonna take that. Long johns are so good. Long johns are like the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
I got distracted. You win because you have successfully distracted me because I love long johns so freaking much.
If we were on the same Sawyer, I was going to say, I'm going to lawyer you.
You're just gonna sue me? Yeah. You son of a bitch. I'm gonna sue Cuzmere's you.
Also,
that was my neighbor growing up.
Congrats against the Vikings.
Thank you.
Right?
Have we played the Vikings? No. I think the big deal now is we're trying to figure out if we can play Detroit or if we can get to Detroit because Buffalo is like covered in snow.
I thought the Bills just had like a really good, like a weekend or two ago.
Maybe. I think you're right. I don't know what today is.
You keep talking about this match.
Regarding the deliberate timing of Cuerno, Vampire asks Striker, is it like a game to him? Is it like a chess match? And Striker, who knows what gets people off? This man cannot stop being horny. He needs help. Guys, I'm setting up a GoFundMe for Matt Striker, always horny. Please send help. Give him some long john to rub his dick against. Lord knows he needs it. Back in the ring, Cuerno, these double German suplexes, doing it a little bit of a Rabid Wolverine style, holding onto the S grip as he takes him over. Second suplex transitions into the Brain Buster. It's insane. And I'm curious to like, was he wrestling? Because I don't know how he was wrestling before. Was he wrestling like this beforehand? Or did he adapt to a more technical style to play the hunter?
I hope, because that'd be cool.
I mean, I'm also just a sucker for nerds, wherever it is. Billy was my favorite Power Ranger. Donatello, it was always either Donatello or Raph or Mikey. Mikey was orange, right?
Mikey's the definition of zuzzy.
And this is for true. But I always love that. Not just like I'm good at machines, but like what I do in a very technical way. I do it in a very like nerdy breakdown way. So like I'm all over. I love Zazzy Zah. Who is Zazzy Zah in Lucha Underground right now?
I guess the bartender
Mariachi
guy.
Loco?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, probably El Mariachi Loco. I'm trying to think if there's anyone who might have a shot at winning the world title.
Oh.
Who's Zazzy Zah, but that's kind of hard to find.
Kind of Mundo.
Mundo's pretty Zazzy Zah. Mundo's very Zazzy Zah, actually. Mundo's literally just like, I don't know, I'm going to steal shit from you until you give me what I want. That's pretty Zazzy. In wrestling, that's very Zazzy Zah.
I will say I thought how on Who Charted they were talking about this Vikings versus Bills from the 13th last week.
Oh, yeah.
I thought the Bills had won, but I heard that it was one of the best games in a long time. Just like, this was fucking great. The Bills
just lost.
Yeah, by a little
that's
bit.
That's why. Yeah, which sucks. It makes it worse. I don't know. He spent the whole game getting hopeful and then agitated. I missed it because we were recording, I think.
I do believe, I mean, factually, they lost on purpose to bring families together.
Thank you, Joe Pera. As we spend every episode, this is the moment to thank Joe Pera.
One of my favorite Striker lines from this episode was talking about Drago, and he's like, oh man, the tenacity, the usual, the audacity, the tenacity, and dare I say it, the balls on this guy.
He's ballsy. He's kind of crazy. Cuerno takes him on the ground. He goes for the table. He sets up the table. Drago sees that table and says, you know what? Fuck you. I'm going to put you through the table.
Wait.
So he thinks.
Yeah. Also,
Drago's plan.
Is Drago married to Elon Musk? Because he's ballsy?
All right, then. Cuerno does put Drago through the table with a thrill of the hunt, but it's only like 8.5, 9.7. It's not enough for the 10 count. Cuerno can't believe it. I can't believe it. The ballsy balls on this dragon creature blows my mind.
Yeah.
So Cuerno does what Cuerno does best. He outthinks him. He goes under the ring again. This time he pulls out rope.
Which
he takes, yes.
We're about to find out a factually incorrect thing Striker, I believe, said, which was you have to look at whose head is higher, and that's the one who's eking it out.
yeah, I guess he's referring to like who's less tired, who's more like who's actually holding their head up as opposed to drooping it down like you're falling asleep on the bus, but you don't want to fall asleep on the bus because you don't want to fall asleep on the bus. Mm-hmm. However, Drago's like still in it. He rolls in the ring. He got up after the thrill of the kill, but he's in the ring. He's on his butt. He's kind of lying down. He's taking a mild snooze. Meanwhile, Cuerno's running around behind him, tying him up, going around his throat. Like truly some like Shibata level knots we got going on. Until it's too late, Drago realizes what's happening, but he cannot stand up. And physically, by any means, he's too literally tied down. So the ref has to count 10. And despite not being knocked out, despite mentally and spiritually being able to answer the 10 count, Drago physically cannot. And so the third match in this best of 3 series, as it has become, goes to King Cuerno for big brain Shibata-based plays.
This was also extremely brutal. At first, I hated this win. Like, it was a quick, like, oh, this sucks. This is dangerous. No, thank you. And again, he has his buckhead up top. That's also dangerous. A tragedy waiting to happen. But I do, if you're watching this, the ropes around his arms, because it goes around his arm, then his neck, then his arms. The neck was loose, but the arms were tight. So even though it looked like he was getting like real tight, the neck was somewhat loose, wasn't cutting off circulation. But even though I was like, this sucks, this is fucked up. Like truly, it looked fucked up.
It looks like because Cuerno is pulling on the ropes
from behind.
As Drago's trying to stand up. So it looks brutal. It looks like he is garroting this man. Like like when like in the Godfather when you take a wire and you go behind someone and you choke them with the wire. It looks like he's doing that with this rope, but he's tied it in such a way. It's a very good illusion in that sense.
And then
because it is safe, yes.
It snapped. I'm like, no, this is what a hunter would do. So even though it sucks, it still fits the character, and I enjoyed it for that.
And in a way, it protects Drago, because Cuerno didn't beat Drago by being the better wrestler. He beat him by being the smarter wrestler. Like, as a fan in the audience, yeah, fuck this guy, King Cuerno. He's a bully. He's not, like, he is a bully. I think is a fair part of his character to add.
But a sexy one.
Well, they're all sexy. You chose me someone who walks in that temple who is not sexy, and I will say no, because they're all sexy. He's a very sexy bully, but he is a bully. Like, I would boo this man, but I enjoy, there are so many things I just enjoy. Both as as a critiquer, and a nerd who's like the way you did this and the way you made all these numbers add up, I really enjoy. But also just as someone who enjoys technical wrestling and enjoys the way he's committed so much to this character. Where tying him up and sort of like choking him from behind in a way that, again, like the knot is so good. It is so easy to do that rope spot and make it look so shitty, or to make it actually dangerous and actually go around the throat. Like, no, the way he tied the ropes, he secured the arms. He got it around the neck, but he wasn't applying pressure to the neck, but he made it look like he was. He had to go to rope training for this. You don't just know that. This was a very clean knot, man. Queen Cuerno is not just a hunter, not just a bully, not just a bastard. He's also a Boy Scout and a Man Scout. I love this dude.
Yeah. I'm constantly asking Nicole to choke me from behind.
That's fun.
No, I'm kidding. I'm constantly asking her to stop doing it. She'll just... did I ever tell you this? There was a girl in my brother's grade when I was in 3rd grade at Granville West Elementary, possibly, who just acted like a raptor during recess and would jump on people's back and bite their neck.
What grade? 3rd, you said?
I was in 3rd, so she was probably in 4th or 5th.
That's too old to be doing that.
Yeah.
3rd is kind of too old, but you're like, whatever. 4th or 5th? Okay, well, all right. Sure. And she was doing it to you, a 3rd grader?
No, she was doing it to anyone. Okay. So Surprise, surprise, she was part of the nerds. So
No, what?
there was once when I don't know if she always did it, but she always acted like a raptor or just a general dinosaur. But there was once when one of the nerds was getting beat up, so she ran like a raptor, like from behind of the person bullying and beating up her friend, and jumped on his back and started clawing and biting him.
Did it work? Like, did it break up the fight?
Yeah.
I then cannot actually judge her. When I was a kid, I was probably third. I hope I wasn't in fifth grade. I might have been in fifth grade. It was back when I was still wearing, those starter jackets with the team logos on them?
Yeah.
Like the big puffy jackets. I had one of those. And especially when they're a little too big for you, it's very easy to crawl inside. And I was a big fan of armadillos for some reason. I just thought they were real cool animals.
Oh, I thought the story was going to be a friend of yours was getting into a fight and you just crawled into the jacket and you're like, I'm just going to forget this is even happening. I'm that big of a coward.
I wish that's actually what I did. When my dad's first house after he moved out was across the street from a park that we would play at. And like kids in the neighborhood would come by and play it all the time. And I don't think I realized it was a real fight I had gotten myself into until like it was way too late.
Until a girl jumped on your back and started velociraptoring you?
I wish. No, I was about to get stomped out. Mm-hmm. Like actually stomped out because I thought in my head, like, you know what I'm going to do? Armadillo style, baby. Where like my big strategy was crawl up in a ball inside my jacket and make him come to me. Not realizing, no, this dude's just going to stomp me out. Thankfully, my dad, because again, we lived literally across the street from the park. He saw it. He's like, what's my weird theater kid? What's my weird sensitive theater kid doing? I remember, so he like runs across the street, jumps over the fence. He's like, hey, children, I'm bigger than you. Go away. And they're like, yeah, that's true. Okay. All right.
And then a velociraptor jumped from behind on your dad.
Like all of that, again, would have been cooler than me actually just like, you know what's going to stop me from getting my ass kicked? Armadillo style.
Yeah, all the fights I got into was because people would make fun of me and then I'd go into a rage and just windmill punch the shit out of them. I never lost any fights.
If you don't know how to fight, especially if you're a kid and you're like, at that point, you barely know how to use your body, the windmill is very effective. We used to do that in high school a bunch where it's like, oh, let's just windmill at each other. Well, we're also all metalheads too. But it's like, I mean, but for true, you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, there was no like boxing club or anything. So it's like, if I just windmill you, bud, and my arm is longer than you, go fuck yourself. It's over.
So this is the last story that I'll tell and then we'll do plugs. It relates to me going into a fury. In fifth grade was the last year that I stopped becoming a ball of rage because I smoked weed like 4 times in 6th grade and that leveled me out, which, yeah, guys, give your children weed. Or, hey, cousins or older sister's boyfriends, give these children weed. So,
is your kid's sister acting like a raptor jumping on kids' backs? Give them a little bit of weed. Maybe they'll turn into like a brontosaurus.
Oh, my God. Jurassic Park, they should have just been lighting up, blowing smoke in those raptors' faces.
Oh, you don't think Dr. Malcolm was fucking stoned 427?
Not enough, though. So,
yeah.
It was gym class and we were playing Frisbee golf. It's right when Frisbee golf, I guess, came to Muskegon. We're playing, and I'm not an athletic kid. And I just keep trying to hit the thing I need to hit and just whiffing nonstop. This is probably like a par 4, and that's being like generous because we're children playing. I'm at maybe an 8 or a 12, and I'm freaking the fuck out by this, like getting visibly angry. And the people on my team are fueling it. They are not being kind about this. Of like, hey man, just like let's say 10, that's fine. And to the point where I snapped and just ran at one of them and just started punching the shit out of them as much as I could. Well, they're just all laughing. Like they're not fazed by this, to the point where they started just saying, "Hey, James, you gonna go Frisbee golf on them?" And for years, I would just be known as Frisbee golf.
I remember sometimes it's like, it's that one fight that just like sticks with you. My friend Rioth, he was 2 years older than me in high school. So I think it was his sophomore or freshman year, before I got there. But I guess real early in his high school career, he got into a fight, and either before or after, he uttered the phrase, "I just want to know the taste of blood." And like by the time I get there, he's the nicest older classman. He's an absolute sweetheart. He's taken care of me. He's nothing but like a very kind, warm figure in my eyes. And then people will come up to him and it's like, "Hey, Ree, how's that taste of blood?" And I'm like, "What? Why is everyone asking my mother figure, my high school motherly figure, the taste of blood?" It's that one fight that sticks with you.
This is a real quick one. Kids would practice boxing each other in my neighborhood, and I was like, nah, okay. And these are kids that are like 2 years younger than me. So they're like, "Yeah, man, come on, James, let's box." And what I do, they're like all in a boxing stance. I am too. But then once they start hitting, I just drop down and like let them hit. And
Wow.
they do like a punch, and I'm just like staring at them. And they're like, they drop their gloves and they're like, "No, fuck this. James is a crazy person. No, thank you."
Don't fight crazy.
Ooh.
You don't fight crazy. That's the first rule.
Hey, Arnold taught us that.
Oh, hit me? I'll hit me. Ow.
Well, guys, that's today's episode. Sean, what you got to plug?
You know me, baby. I'm on twitch.tv/GooseVK. And you can also listen to me on a future episode of Formulaic.
Nope, yesterday's episode of Formulaic.
Yesterday's episode of Formulaic.
Also, since we recorded that table read like a day before it technically needs to be put out, Shelby was surprised that I could get it done that fast. I'm like, it's going to be easy. It's like a 35-minute recording in sequence. It'll be fine.
Oh, I'm James. I can record. I can edit so easily. Ooby dooby dooby doo. You sanctimonious ass.
Yeah, so guys, pay me to do it for you.
That's true.
At MSS Pod on Twitter, and I'm on Parler now as well. No, I'm
Get
not.
the fuck. Just get your crazy old plugs.
MLMpod.com to find out information about Formulaic, Mostly Speaking Sentai, and The Height of Horror. First episode is out. We're going through 1999. We picked 13 movies, or technically 12, then we'll have a listener choice. We picked 12 movies from 1999, trying figuring out, is this a good year in horror, a bad year, best, worst, who knows? Vampires, John Carpenter's, very good. Check it out. And listen to my music under Marsh, Land, Monster, a brand new single, me and Dragon Boy Suede, called Baltic State, coming out December 9th, so be on the lookout.
Yeah. We might have got a sneak peek, some of us who are close to James, and it's pretty groovy.
Hell
Recommend. Recommend.
And then go over to patreon.com/MLMpod, where for $5 a month, you get exclusive content every single Friday. Ooh, baby, it's a real fun time. But if you'd like to do more, $10 gets you a monthly exclusive content on top of that weekly content, and shout outs on every single free feed podcast, which if you want your shout outs to be, I don't know, maybe you have a website and you want me to just read off the website, as long as it's not smut in a bad way. There's good smut out there. But
Yeah.
let's begin with
Quality
those.
smut only.
Starting with Steve F.
20 years I've been living here.
Eric Berry of Ranger Command Power Hour.
20 beers in my belly, cheers.
Alex Z. the Waz.
PBR is what I'm drinking here.
Orion, he's a rapper. Defo, D-F-O.
20 years I've been living here.
Kayla, AK2 Grapes.
20 beers in my belly, cheers.
Jordan B. the Chaos Witch.
PBR is what I'm drinking here.
My Bickle, my brother in Kamala. Joshua Jakis.
20 years I've been living here.
Steve Barnes, co-host of Sweet Child of Time.
20 beers in my belly, cheers.
My mother.
PBR is at the womb, cheer. You didn't say the womb part.
Yeah, I switch it up.
You keep me on my toes.
My mother is more than just a womb, okay?
That's true. She's also a PBR and is what I'm drinking here.
And finally, Lil Corey's BFF and roommate, Shane.
Somebody help Matt Stryker. He's always horny, and I'm concerned.
And I'm concerned about this episode.
And I'm Sean.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, yeah.